Overthinking is more than just a habit. It's a silent epidemic that's quietly seeping into our lives. It's like a fog that clouds our minds, and before we know it, it takes control, leading us into a maze of what-ifs, could-haves, and should-haves. But what exactly is overthinking? It's when we dwell too much on our problems, replaying past mistakes in our heads or predicting 1,000 different outcomes for a single action in the future. It's when our minds become a whirlwind of thoughts, so much so that it becomes difficult to focus on the present. Now you might think, what's so bad about thinking a bit more? Well, overthinking is not just thinking more, it's thinking excessively, and this can have negative consequences. It can lead to stress and anxiety, two of the most common mental health issues in today's society. It can also lead to decision paralysis. The more you think about the possible outcomes of a decision, the harder it becomes to make that decision. It's like being stuck at a crossroads, unable to take a step forward for fear of taking the wrong path. Moreover, it can rob us of our happiness. When we're constantly worried about our problems or the future, we forget to enjoy the present moment. We forget to appreciate the little things that make life beautiful. It's a vicious cycle that feeds on itself, and before we know it, we're trapped in our own minds, unable to break free. It's not just a matter of mental discomfort. Overthinking can have serious, tangible impacts on our lives. Let's start with relationships. Overthinking can turn a simple conversation into a minefield of what-ifs. You might find yourself analyzing every word, every pause, every expression. This constant scrutiny can lead to misunderstandings, breeding unnecessary conflict and strain. It creates a barrier of doubt and insecurity, damaging the trust and openness that are the foundations of any healthy relationship. Turning to the workplace, it can be a productivity killer. Instead of focusing on the task at hand, overthinkers often get trapped in endless loops of analysis and speculation. They may spend hours perfecting a single detail while neglecting the bigger picture. This not only hampers their performance, but also increases their stress levels, leading to burnout and further deteriorating their productivity. Now let's talk about health. The mind and body are inextricably linked, and the stress caused can manifest in physical symptoms. It could be something as common as a headache or as severe as a heart disease. Overthinking can disrupt sleep, impair digestion, and weaken the immune system. It's a vicious cycle. The more you overthink, the worse you feel, and the worse you feel, the more you overthink. So how can we combat this damaging tendency? The answer might surprise you. We need to learn to care a little less. Now, before you raise your eyebrows, allow me to clarify. This isn't about adopting a blasé attitude towards everything in life. No, it's not about disregarding your family, your health, or your responsibilities. Rather, it's about letting go of the unimportant minutiae and hypothetical scenarios that keep our minds perpetually in overdrive. How often do we find ourselves getting lost in the labyrinth of what-ifs and if-onlys? How frequently do we torment ourselves over the smallest of mistakes or worry endlessly about things beyond our control? It's these insignificant details and conjectures that we need to learn to care less about. Here's an example. Imagine you've just sent an email to your boss, and then you notice a minor typo. Your mind starts racing. Will they think less of you? Will they question your competency? Instead of spiraling into this vortex of overthinking, choose to care less. It's a typo, not a testament of your ability. Or consider this. You're planning a social gathering and you're worried about every little detail. Will everyone enjoy the food? Will they like the music? Instead of allowing these concerns to consume you, decide to care less. Focus on the joy of the gathering instead. And remember this, caring less doesn't mean not caring at all. It's about choosing what to care about. It's about discerning between the important and the unimportant. It's about realizing that not everything deserves your mental and emotional energy. By adopting this approach, we can free our minds from the shackles of overthinking. We can reclaim control over our thoughts. We can focus on what truly matters and let the rest fade away into insignificance. Firstly, focus on solutions, not problems. It's easy to get caught in a loop of negative thinking, fixating on what's wrong. But what if we shift our perspective? Instead of dwelling on the problem, let's concentrate on finding a solution. Secondly, practice mindfulness. This is about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without getting overwhelmed by what's going on around us. It's about appreciating the here and now, not fretting about the past or the future. Try simple mindfulness exercises like focusing on your breath or the sensations in your body. You'd be surprised at how it can help quieten the mind. Lastly, surround yourself with positive influences. The people we spend time with can significantly impact our mindset. Choose to be around those who uplift you, inspire you, and challenge you in a good way. With these practical steps, we can start to break the cycle of overthinking and lead happier, less stressed lives. We've seen how overthinking can lead to stress, anxiety, and a host of other negative effects. It's like a relentless tide, pulling us under and making it harder to breathe, let alone enjoy life. But remember, we're not suggesting you turn into a heartless individual. Far from it. We're simply encouraging a shift in perspective, a rejigging of priorities. It's a simple yet effective way to break the cycle of overthinking and step into a more carefree existence. In essence, it's all about balance. By caring less about the trivial, we free up space to care more about what truly matters: our health, our relationships, our passions, our dreams. The key is not to stop caring, but to care wisely. So, as we conclude, let's remember this journey, the lessons learned, and the steps we can take to live a less burdened life.